Aldi has established itself as a destination for rock-bottom prices, drawing millions of budget-conscious consumers who rely on the chain to reduce their grocery expenses. But there's something Aldi management doesn't advertise. Not every item on those shelves represents genuine value. Certain products may appear to be incredible bargains, but are actually depleting your finances, compromising on quality standards, or potentially endangering your well-being. Remember, a poor quality item remains a bad investment regardless of its low price tag. For filling your shopping cart believing you're making economical choices, you deserve to know the facts. In this expose, we're revealing 10 Aldi products you should absolutely avoid purchasing. Several might surprise you, and there's a good chance you have already unknowingly selected some of them. Be sure to continue watching until we reveal the number one item, a product that has deceived even the most experienced Aldi shoppers. But before we begin, if you appreciate saving money and making wiser purchasing decisions, please tap that like button. Your support helps share this information with other consumers just like yourself. And remember to subscribe to Economy Insider for the finest money-saving strategies, consumer alerts, and supermarket tactics delivered weekly. Now let's dive straight into our countdown. Initially, Aldi's prepared mashed potatoes seemed like an ideal time saver, a convenient, effortless side dish that reduces kitchen preparation. However, once heated, the disappointment becomes evident. Rather than experiencing creamy, buttery goodness, you're confronted with a sticky, granular mixture resembling adhesive more than potatoes. Consumers across review platforms criticize the dish of them for their synthetic flavor, unpleasant consistency, and strange, lingering taste that simply doesn't belong in comfort cuisine. Some reviewers have likened eating them to consuming thickened wallpaper paste, hardly the side dish you'd want accompanying your dinner. If you're longing for authentic mashed potatoes, avoid this Aldi shortcut. Preparing them from scratch isn't just more economical, it guarantees fresh, rich flavors without any texture issues. Plus, you maintain control over the ingredients. No preservatives, no artificial additives, just pure, creamy excellence. Your palate will certainly appreciate the difference. If you're contemplating saving a few dollars by replacing your preferred soda with Aldi's budget-friendly alternative, reconsider your choice. While Aldi's private label sodas attempt to replicate Coca-Cola and Pepsi, they completely fail to capture the essence in both flavor and quality. The carbonation is insufficient, resulting in a flat, uninspiring beverage lacking the refreshing fizz expected from a satisfying soda. But the situation worsens. Numerous customers describe the taste as excessively sweet, almost syrupy, with a peculiar artificial aftertaste that persists long after consumption. Instead of a crisp, satisfying refreshment, you receive a flat, sugar-laden letdown that makes you question whether saving pennies truly justifies the experience. Aldi excels at providing affordable groceries, but regarding soda, it's a risk not worth taking. Rather than settling for substandard quality, watch for discounts on name-brand sodas at major retailers like Costco or Walmart. You'll not only enjoy the authentic, bold flavor and carbonation you expect, but also a beverage that genuinely quenches your thirst. Aldi soda might be inexpensive, but regarding taste, you definitely receive what you pay for, and that's not a compliment. If coffee serves as your daily essential, Aldi's budget coffee brands might be the quickest way to ruin your morning routine. While their instant and ground coffee options promise robust flavor at reduced prices, the reality proves entirely unsatisfying. Customers repeatedly criticize Aldi's coffee for being weak, bitter, and completely devoid of the depth and richness associated with quality brews. Instead of that smooth, robust aroma that energizes your day, you're often presented with a dull, lifeless cup tasting of stale beans and disillusionment. Some varieties are excessively acidic, while others are so bland they resemble flavored water more than genuine coffee.
If you're hoping instant coffee provides a solution, think again. Many shoppers report that Aldi's instant granules don't dissolve properly, leaving a grainy, undrinkable residue at the bottom of your cup. Rather than a convenient, quick caffeine boost, you end up with a frustrating, inferior brew that creates more inconvenience than value. For just slightly more money, you can upgrade to trusted brands like Nescafe, or better yet, switch to whole beans for a fresher, smoother experience. a disappointing coffee can disrupt your entire day. Don't let Aldi's cheap offerings be responsible. Aldi's produce section might appear as a budget-conscious shopper's paradise, but if you're selecting those pre-bagged fruits and vegetables believing you're economizing, think again. Countless customers report discovering moldy, bruised, or overripe produce sealed inside those convenient packages, sometimes even before leaving the store. The most troubling aspect? Many items spoil within just 24-48 hours, meaning you're not conserving money. You're disposing of it directly into garbage bins. Aldi's strategy of selling produce in bulk packages might maintain low pricing, but it also prevents proper inspection of each item for freshness. By the time you open the bag at home, you might find yourself discarding half of what you purchased. When shopping at Aldi, always select loose produce instead of prepackaged options. Better yet, visit a local farmer's market or grocery store renowned for fresh, high-quality produce. After all, an inexpensive deal isn't truly advantageous if it deteriorates before consumption. If you're aiming to reduce meat expenses, Aldi's economical chicken might seem like a simple way to save, but you could be sacrificing considerably more than a few dollars. Shoppers consistently report rubbery, water-saturated, and sometimes strangely textured chicken that simply doesn't cook properly. Instead of a fresh, juicy bite, you might end up with a tough, spongy, and flavorless disaster on your plate. But texture isn't the only concern. It's about content. A 2025 food quality analysis discovered that many budget chicken products, including Aldi's house brand options, contain excessive sodium and injected water to artificially increase weight. This means you're paying for water rather than meat, and receiving a product that could taste significantly worse as a result. If you value quality, safety, and flavor, investing slightly more in fresh, high-grade poultry from a reputable grocery chain is worthwhile. Regarding something as fundamental as chicken, Aldi's bargain selection simply isn't worth the risk. Ketchup might appear as a straightforward condiment, tomatoes, vinegar, and a touch of sweetness. But Aldi's off-brand version demonstrates that not all ketchup varieties are equivalent. The moment it contacts your taste buds, you'll realize something is fundamentally wrong. Instead of the perfect balance between tangy and savory that makes ketchup a staple, this version is overwhelmingly sweet, resembling sugary tomato syrup rather than a well-balanced condiment. The consistency presents another disappointment. Runny, thin, and watery, barely adhering to fries or burgers, leaving you with a soggy, flavorless mess. Many customers compare it to a budget imitation attempting to replicate the authentic product but falling embarrassingly short. If you appreciate ketchup, this represents one area where reducing costs simply isn't justified. A few cents saved won't compensate for ruining your meal with an unbalanced, overprocessed, and mediocre sauce. Heinz, for example, has dedicated over a century to perfecting its bold, tangy, and smooth formula, establishing itself as the gold standard for condiments. Don't accept an inferior substitute. Prioritize quality because the difference is unmistakable. At first glance, Aldi's prepackaged deli meats might appear as an exceptional deal. Convenient, affordable, and ideal for quick sandwiches. But what remains invisible on the packaging represents the actual problem. Aldi's private label deli meats are loaded with sodium, artificial preservatives, and fillers that extend shelf life at the expense of both flavor and quality. That fresh turkey or ham you're purchasing? It might have been stored in a warehouse for months, saturated with additives to prevent spoilage. Instead of the juicy, tender texture expected from quality deli meat, shoppers frequently mention a rubbery, processed consistency more reminiscent of plastic than genuine food. And if you anticipated a bold, savory taste, you'll encounter an odd aftertaste persisting long after meal completion. Beyond disappointing texture and artificial flavor, these meats represent a nutritional catastrophe. Many contain excessive sodium levels, sometimes double the amount found in freshly sliced deli meats, alongside preservatives and questionable fillers potentially harmful to your health. If you genuinely care about your consumption, avoid Aldi's packaged deli meats and select freshly sliced options from a trusted butcher or supermarket. You'll enjoy superior taste, higher quality ingredients, and none of the artificial components accompanying prepackaged varieties. Ultimately, authentic deli meat justifies every additional penny. Aldi's Raisin Bran might appear as a prudent, economical breakfast choice, but don't be deceived by the price. What you're actually receiving is a sugar-laden cereal disguised as a healthy option. Many customers are astonished to discover that Aldi's version contains more added sugar than some leading name brands, occasionally exceeding levels in sugary children's cereals. This means instead of a nutritious start to your day, you're experiencing a blood sugar surge followed by an inevitable energy decline. The issues extend further. One predominant complaint regarding Aldi's Raisin brand concerns its poor texture. The flakes lose crispness almost immediately upon contact with milk, transforming into soggy, unappetizing mush within seconds. Instead of a satisfying, fiber-rich crunch, you're left with something closer to porridge than cereal. If you're committed to making healthier breakfast selections, seek a brand with reduced added sugar or consider switching to a substantial granola mixture that actually sustains fullness without excessive sweetness. A proper breakfast should energize your morning, not burden you with unnecessary sugar and disappointment. Smoked salmon should provide a gourmet experience. Rich, flavorful, and infused with that distinctive smoky depth. But Aldi's economical version delivers precisely the opposite. Customers repeatedly highlight its thin, watery nature and complete absence of the luxurious taste and texture that elevates smoked salmon to delicacy status. Instead of those silky, melt-in-your-mouth slices, you often receive flimsy, irregular cuts that resemble soggy fish more than premium salmon. But the primary issue concerns flavor, or its absence. Instead of a bold, smoky taste, Aldi's version frequently possesses a bland, fishy aftertaste that's anything but appetizing. Many shoppers also report inconsistency between packages, with certain batches tasting fresh, while others seem overly processed and nearly stale. Smoked salmon should represent a high-quality indulgence, not a gamble. If you appreciate this seafood delicacy, do yourself a favor and invest in a trusted brand. Regarding something as delicate as smoked salmon, quality is paramount, and Aldi's version simply fails to deliver. Butter isn't merely another ingredient. It forms the foundation of countless recipes, from rich, flaky pastries to golden, pan-seared steaks. The quality of your butter can determine a dish's success or failure. And unfortunately, Aldi's bargain butter causes more harm than benefit. While appearing cost-effective, many customers find it bland, overly processed, and completely lacking the creamy, indulgent taste of premium brands. Instead of smooth, rich spreadability, Aldi's butter is often waxy, uneven, and sometimes crumbly, making it challenging to work with. If you expect that satisfying, melt-in-your-mouth butter experience, this product will leave you dissatisfied. But the true issue extends beyond taste. It's about cooking and baking performance. Aldi's generic butter reportedly contains more water and less butterfat than high-quality brands, directly affecting texture in everything from cookies to croissants. This additional moisture can produce dense, greasy, or unevenly baked goods, ruining recipes dependent on precise fat balance. Bakers and home cooks alike notice that Aldi's butter simply doesn't create the same golden, crispy layers or deep, rich flavor that superior options provide. And remember, butter isn't merely a flavor enhancer. It's a crucial structural element in many dishes. Compromising here could mean the difference between a perfect, mouth-watering bite and a disappointing, mediocre meal. If you truly value food quality, this represents one area where additional expenditure is absolutely justified. Now you understand the 10 Aldi products you should never purchase. Some might initially appear as excellent deals, but long-term, they could ultimately cost more in wasted money, frustration, and disappointing meals. Aldi might excel for certain grocery essentials, but regarding these specific items, you're significantly better off looking elsewhere. Have you experienced any of these Aldi products? Did they meet your expectations or prove completely disappointing? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. If you found this video helpful, please tap that like button and subscribe to Economy Insider for more intelligent shopping tips, product warnings, and money-saving advice delivered weekly. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.